and carnage, I bloom like a flower in the dawn.
Jhin is a long-range AD carry that has great kiting with multiple slows and stuns. He's able to do some pretty decent damage from a long range while moving around the team fight and can help his team follow up with his W and ultimate. Although he gets some pretty decent movement speed whenever he does crit, he doesn't have a built-in dash and he does have to reload. The slows and stuns he has in his kit are also skill shots. He's a fairly skill shot reliant champion. The first rune page people are taking on Jhin on this patch is Dark Harvest. This will give you just a bit of extra damage when you're trying to execute a low health target, and it's great for poking as well with Jin's long ranges because you can proc it and deal bonus damage with your ultimate or W. You can of course stay a bit more generic and still stick with fleet footwork if you want just a little bit more movement speed and healing. It's also a very viable option. Your summoner spells are very generic. First you want to pick up Flash, and then grab either Barrier or Cleanse. Barrier will definitely be your default option. It's really good for dueling people, especially in the early game, but if you are against a lot of crowd controls or something like an Ashe AD carry, Cleanse is definitely superior. Jin's passive is his Weapon Whisper, which gives him 4 shots and reloads over 2.5 seconds. The 4th shot will always critically strike and do bonus physical damage based on the target's missing health. Then, a portion of his critical strike chance and bonus attack speed will get converted to bonus attack damage. Whenever he crits his target, he will get bonus movement speed for 2 seconds. Jin's Q ability is Dancing Grenade, where he throws a grenade at a target enemy that bounces up to 3 additional times, dealing physical damage. Whenever a grenade last hits a target, it will increase the damage by 35% for the next jump. It's a great way to help you last hit minions quickly or to harass the enemy. Jin's W is Deadly Flourish, which is your long range poking ability. Enemies that walk into your Lotus Trap or are damaged by Jhin or allies are also marked for 4 seconds. If these marked enemies are hit by your Deadly Flourish, they will be rooted and grant Jhin bonus movement speed. Keep in mind that this does have a 25-20 range, so you can do it from a very long distance. Jin's E ability is Captive Audience, which allows him to summon a Blooming Lotus Trap, which lasts 180 seconds. Enemies that do walk into it will be revealed for 4 seconds and can have a maximum charge of 2. These slow enemies within the area for 35% for 2 seconds and will deal magic damage if they stay inside. Jin's ultimate is Curtain Call, which lasts up to 10 seconds, allowing him to shoot 4 times. Enemies that are hit will take damage based on their missing health and be slowed by 80% for 0.5 seconds, while also being revealed. Just like your passive, the 4th shot here will critically strike. For your skill order, you want to put a point in your ultimate at 6, 11, and 16, and then prioritize your Q, followed by your W and E. For your quick trading combo in the lane phase, you want to start with an auto attack and then hit your enemy with a Q and W, followed by another auto attack. If possible, try to do this on your 3rd and 4th shot just to get a bit of extra damage in that trade. For our second combo, we open up with an E into a W and then auto attack, Q, and auto attack again. If you or one of your teammates were able to mark the target, you could skip the E entirely and just open with your W. For our full combo, we start by landing our ultimate shots and then follow up with a W to root them. At this point, you can flash on the target and hit them with a Q auto to execute them, but the flash is completely unnecessary if they're pretty close to you. Jhin is generally good in matchups where you can abuse his strong early lane phase and his range. This is generally going to be champions like Kalista, Samira, and Ezreal. Other champions that are really strong in the early game do give him some trouble, or if they just have some sustain, like a Seraphine. These matchups are still very winnable, he's just not as dominant. For your item build, first start with a Doran's Blade and a health potion. For your core build, you want to choose either a Collector or a Static Shiv, and then get a Rapid Fire Cannon and an Infinity Edge. If you are going for the Dark Harvest build, I would recommend the Collector. At some point when you're working on this core build, make sure you pick up your Boots of Swiftness and then work on the rest of your items. For one of the last 2 slots, you probably want to pick up an LDR or a Mortal Reminder to give you that 100% crit and your Armor Pen. Then for the final slot, you can get either some lifesteal with the Bloodthirster or the Mercurial Scimitar, or a defensive with the Guardian Angel or a Moth. In the lane phase, focus on farming and harassing your enemy with your auto attacks and your Q. If an enemy does get tagged or they walk into one of your traps, make sure you follow up with a W for your root. You'll be able to use your captive audience to throw traps in brushes and watch the river in case the jungler is coming. Use that strong lane phase and bully the enemy. In the mid and late game, rotate around the map and try to take down towers. Keep an eye on objectives, especially the dragon, since you will be bot lane, because you're great at setting up a zone to take the objective. Toss your traps around the objective so they can't easily move in there, and use your ultimate to zone if they do try to contest.